Good evening. This is CTV News for Wednesday, May 27th. I'm Rochelle Metzger.
And I'm Denise Douglas. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, sensing perhaps that his plan to raise some taxes by 15% in order to fund public education would be rejected by the county council, County Executive Rushern Baker scaled back his numbers. Baker is now asking the county council to approve a $65 million infusion into public education rather than the $133 million he'd been asking for.
Well, the plan that I initially proposed aggressively raised the level of performance for all of our schools. This reduced investment keeps intact many of the programs and investments initially proposed, but at a slower yet still acceptable pace of implementation.
Also, due to expected revenues from the MGM National Harbor project, he's now calling for the tax increase to be temporary.
We are also asking the council to consider our recommendation that we do a sunset provision so that the tax would end on June 30th, 2020, when revenues from both MGM and other development projects from the county have come in.
The county council is set to vote on the budget tomorrow. Clearly, a big day for taxpayers in Prince George's County.
The family of a 9-year-old girl assaulted on a school bus earlier this month is now suing Prince George's County. Also named in the multi-million-dollar civil suit is the Board of Education, Highland Park Elementary School administrators, and the unidentified bus driver. The May 8th incident was captured by a cell phone on the way home from school. The video lasts more than 6 minutes and shows Soraya Collins being teased as she says over and over that she does not want to fight. Then the 4th grader is attacked, suffering repeated blows to the head. Court documents cite negligence, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and other counts. The family, along with their attorney, spoke to reporters today.
2 girls that I know walked home with me to my grandmother's house, and we waited until my father got there. And one of them recorded it, and they showed my dad a part of it.
I was in shock. Like, I couldn't believe that kids even acted like that.
We're worried about Prince George's County Public Schools acknowledging bullying going on in the school. We are worried about administrative taking action, disciplinary action when things like this happen. This is not the first time this issue has happened.
Bottom line, as a baseline, we should be able to expect that if adults are present, what Soraya experienced is not going to be allowed.
Now, Soraya has not returned to class since the incident. The school system released a statement saying in part that it will review the court documents once officials receive them and then proceed with the appropriate action. Officials also say the bus operator has been taken off driving duties and placed on administrative leave pending an investigation.
Well, Rochelle, switching gears for you, we have some new information for anyone who thinks they may have been a victim of the Blue Cross Blue Shield data breach. A website and phone number have been set up for you to get information. You can log on to carefirstanswers.com or call this number, 888-451-6562. The company confirmed it was hit by a cyber attack in June 2014, but said there was no evidence that any personal information was accessed or misused. CareFirst is offering those affected 2 years of free credit monitoring.
Hundreds of spellers are competing in the 88th annual Scripps National Spelling Bee. The competition is being held all week long right here in Prince George's at the Gaylord National Harbor. And earlier, CTV Sonia Srivastava caught up with Tamaya Matthews, who is representing Prince George's County.
Well, close to 300 spellers are participating in the Scripps National Spelling Bee, and representing Prince George's is our very own Tamaya Matthews. And Tamaya, you are a second-time winner in Prince George's, and now you're participating in this bee. What has it been like so far?
It's really been just an all-around amazing experience. I mean, even making it here is an accomplishment in itself, but they kick-started off the week with a great barbecue, and, you know, now we're getting through to the spelling, the best part.
Yeah. So now you are going to the 3rd round. What is that like? I mean, is that nerve-wracking?
A little nerve-wracking. Before round 2, I could barely even eat. So, you know, I only had a smoothie and,
yeah, you were nervous.
Yeah,
you were
very, very nervous. I only had a little bit for lunch. So, you know, it's a little bit you know, nerve-wracking, but I'm getting through it.
Yeah, well, and what have you been doing the week, you know, or weeks leading up to all of this? How long were you studying?
I made sure I studied every day for at least maybe 1 to 2 hours, and, you know, learning my root words, reading the dictionary.
Are you nervous watching her on stage?
Well, earlier, yes, I was. You know, around Speller 97, I got really nervous. I actually got a headache, but once she got her word diesel, I'm like, yeah, she has this, so.
Yeah, how proud are you of her?
Extremely proud. I had tears in my eyes earlier just thinking, wow, this is not only, you know, last year was her goal just to make it here, but this is her second time here, you know, it's very proud of my child.
So Tamaya, when you first saw all of the lights, the stage, I mean, this is something you saw on TV, and now you're actually standing there. What's that been like?
Really an amazing experience. I had to step back and, you know, process the whole thing, like, oh my gosh, I'm here. And once again, you know, it really is a big deal, a really big deal.
It is a big deal, and we're also proud of you because you're representing Prince George's, and of course, we will continue to follow Tamaya's role in all of this, and we'll bring you that story coming up tomorrow. I'm Sonia Shrivastava at the National Harbor. Back to you.
As Sonia said, be sure to tune in tomorrow for more on the National Spelling Bee. Exciting stuff, especially for those students who are local.
I think I would just crack under the pressure, just forget the word.
I think you'd be fine. Well, you're watching CTV News. I'm Rochelle Metzger.
And I'm Denise Douglas.